There's certainly more than a remote chance I can get these working. Let's crack on. Hello and welcome to another Mr. B's Bike video, and this one's a little bit different insofar as we're looking at what controls machines rather than the machines themselves. So we've got four different remote control units here, as you can see. And they're all for Betamax machines originally, with the exception of this one, which is for a cassette, Sony cassette deck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the issues with each one, and then we're going to look at them and then hopefully fix them, take them apart, whatever we need to do. So without further ado, let's crack on. So the first remote we're looking at is for the Sony SL-HF2100, and if you don't know these machines, honestly, check them out. They are, quite honestly, beautiful bits of electronics. They are absolutely fantastic. The way the front panels light up, and just the sheer design of the case as well. They're amazing. And to go with that amazing side of it, we have the remote. And as you can see, it's an LCD remote. This one, I'm a bit concerned that it's quite sort of brown in between the layers there. It is a touchscreen remote, and yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I really hope I can get this going. These are incredibly rare. The US version of the HF2100, I think it's literally in the hundreds. There's something like 700 or 800 machines were ever sold in the US markets, and I don't know how many were sold in Japan, but probably not that many. So they are a super rare machine, and yeah, they're just so worth, if you can get hold of one, actually saving and cherishing, because they are amazing. So let's crack on and see what this one's doing. Okay, so first of all, let's see what's actually wrong with this. Let's put some batteries in. These remotes, as wonderful as they are, for everyday use, they're a little bit cumbersome. And you can actually use the IMT124 to access the basic functions of it. So yeah, you can see I've put the batteries in, and I just have nothing, and apparently it just died. So the connections are actually really good. So no corrosion at all. I mean, it's a great original remote. So let's take the screws out. What have we? Are they old screws? No, I don't think they are. It's feeling more like it's got bites. The heads are actually a little bit, so somebody's been in here before. That one looks decidedly stripped on the head. And I'm guessing the cover just pops off. I mean, these things are so rare that I really don't want to damage anything. I mean, the thing is, they're so rare, but they're also so fragile. Sounding hopeful. Yeah, that's done it. Done it really nicely, actually. So just literally just pushing the plectrum, freeing it from the bottom there, because there's a little bit of a gap to be able to do that, and then just running the plectrum down the side, just releases all the clips. Hopefully we won't damage any plastic. I mean, like I say, the plastic's starting to get so brittle now. There we go. Oh, well. You can sort of see what's happened. Look at that. That's amazing. I'm a bit flabbergasted by that. That it's sort of, why are these not rotted? And all of this is. Oh dear. So, look at that. Oh gosh, it's gone all in the print, look. Oh. Okay. I wonder if that explains a little bit why that's a bit brown, actually, because it's all of this that's sort of like almost venting. Sort of corrosive nature is actually breaking down, almost breaking down the LCD, I suppose. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think on that one. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to brush this off, just see if we can, well, just see what's going on, really. I'm just worried because if this is that bad on this side, and it's double-sided print, oh, this could be fun. Yeah, I might have to have a close look there as well, because it looks like there's some bridging going on there. Maybe, I don't know. I have very tired eyes tonight, so I can't really see. So I'm gonna have to get a bit of a magnification on there just to see what's going on. That was amazing though, how it sort of just took off. The solder like that, just dissolved the solder. Okay, so I'm going to keep cleaning this, and we'll take it from there. And we're going to have to lift this board. But oh, it's such a shame. And I mean, it's one of those things, a little bit, if I get this going, there's bits of rubbish in there. If I get this going, how long is it going to last? But you know, it's, well, we've got to do our best, because like I say, these things are so rare. That's actually done a really good job. So yeah, I'll do some more cleaning, then we'll remove this panel and take a look. Okay, so let's take this board off. It's the vinegar has neutralized things somewhat, but I just really am dreading what other damage might have been done. The other thing I was thinking is how this has happened, because I don't know, I mean, maybe the contacts are just, they just haven't, they're that well protected then that they haven't suffered. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe they have just been cleaned up, but I find it difficult to believe that batteries would have done that. I mean, it looks like batteries, but I'd expect corrosion on the actual contacts. So I don't know. Okay, so here goes. And I really have no idea what to expect, but it's a whole unit that's coming off. There we go. So that's the whole unit. So that's a glass, which I'm guessing, yeah, that's connected at the bottom here, so it's capacitive. The corrosion or the degradation in the LCD, I mean, it's done well, but the degradation is within the layers of the LCD. Now, if this was mine, I'd be taking this completely apart. But as it's not something I am going to fiddle with too much. So we're going to have to wing it a bit. I'm slightly sad I can't take it. Well, I'm not prepared to take it any apart any further. It's just too risky. If I can get to be fair, I think that's going to be alright. If I can get the board to function, then I think that's a win. In an ideal world, I would like to take it all apart and just make absolutely sure the print is okay on the other side, because there's so much battery leakage. I mean, it's got to be, isn't it? What else could it be? I wouldn't be surprised it's got through, but it's just like, it's not much good if I take it apart and it's I see. So it's actually mounted into the case using these two screws here and these two screws at the top, and the rest of the screws are just holding together the assembly somehow. I can't quite see how that's done. Oh, see what I mean? It's got rot at the top there. Oh, I mean, clean that off. A little pop was just the spring underneath moving. But I really do think this might be post. You can see there, look, where it's just rotted. So yeah, I think my decision is put this back together and see if we can get it going just by repairing the bottom board, the bottom of the board rather, and then if not, we'll have to try and take it apart from the top and see what's happened to the board. But the thing is that it's a double-sided board. There are through sections. You can repair them, and I have repaired them, and might be able to get some more life out of the whole thing. So just putting this back, making sure I hold the glass, and oh yeah, that's come off as well. It's completely come off. I sort of wish that would do the same. Anyway, oh dear. It's one of those things. I hate giving bad news, especially when it's something so rare like this, and just saying that it's probably not going to last much longer. But I will say that you know, when it breaks again, I mean, it's what do you do? You know, it's just like you give it a try and risk losing everything, or give it a try and it works and it's a good repair and everything's fantastic. I would say probably it'd be fairly slim success rate with this. Once it fails, if I manage to get this all tidied up and working and the remote works, it will fail again, of course, in the fullness of time. And missing a screw somewhere. So yeah, well, we'll give this a clean up and see what happens. So I am debating a little bit the best way to clean this up. I'm going to try the desoldering gun first, because this might be the least impactful. Yeah, I mean, that's lifted off actually very little. Let's see if I can melt some solder on there, just get some flow going. And this one seemed to pick up a little bit. Yeah, it's not really doing anything. Oh. It's one of those things, no matter what I do, we're sort of a bit in trouble with this. Okay, I think I'm gonna knock that on the head. Okay, so I've put some flux on this now. I'm gonna try some desolder braid. Try and get these as clean as I can get them. Give me a good indication of what's going on with the actual things themselves. Get rid of that stray bit of copper, which is still there. Make things worse. So negative, positive. see what happens. There was actually a screw missing out of this as well. I was worrying about a screw and there wasn't one. It's actually originally missing from there, so I might have to just swap them over if there's any sort of problem. Just see, it is batteries. You look at the back, you see where the battery rot has got through. So my guess is that the batteries leaked, but they didn't actually do much damage to the actual contacts, but the corrosion has fallen through the holes in the case there, battery holder portion of the case, and that has caused the damage to the board over years, so real shame. Okay, so here goes. Let's roll this up to 6 volts. That's not great. It's just so contaminated. 6 volts getting to the board. It's just, if it was a simple remote, it would be easier, but double-sided board with that level of rot. Yeah, so we've got voltage to the board. Is that a positive rail? It could be. Or negative. My thinking would be the outside would be the negative, because that's positive there. And that suggests that it goes in there. Yeah, it's such a shame. I mean, these remotes are remarkable, really, because they're bi-directional as well. There's actually an IR receiver and a transmitter on there. So it's feeding back information from the machine. Really cool. If you take the batteries out. Yeah. Okay, so given the amount of damage this has, I've come to the decision that it's going to have to be pulled apart. I'm going to have to look at the top of the board as well, because it has gone through. I mean, we saw on the LED on the edge of the board on the other side just how bad it is, the corrosion. But I'm going to leave it here with this one, just because I could do with the circuit diagram as well, or not so much circuit diagram, but the actual board layout diagram, just so I can see what should be connected to what on this side, because the tracks, I mean, there's several tracks there that are broken as well, which I should be able to fix, hopefully. It's just a bit of a nightmare, but I'm not going to give up on this one. Got to try and get it up and running. It's sort of a little bit critical, I suppose, to the running of the machine for things like setting the clock. So, you know, I'm going to put everything I can into getting this going. But at the moment, I need to sit tight. And yeah, no doubt this will feature in a future video. Probably standalone, to be honest, because it's going to be a really big job. But yeah, let's crack on with the next remote control. So on to the next remote, and this is an IMT223, commonly used in the UK anyway, in Europe, with the, well, UK mainly, the SL-HF2100, and I believe in Europe they actually had this remote. This was an optional extra in the UK, and I think it was just because of the PAL implementation, I don't know, and the tuning side of things, it was sort of fairly unique to the UK. I know there were PAL machines in Europe as well, but yeah, it's just the tuning as well, and whatever. So I think this does actually work. Well, at least I thought it did. Doesn't seem to. I'm sure there should be a red light there. Let's take it apart and see what's going on with this. I mean, there has been battery leakage in this as well, which possibly might be causing a problem. Let's roll the battery. There we go. See, it's working now. Well, it did. Yeah, so it is sort of working. But yes, it's mainly going to be battery connections, I think, I hope. So to get this apart, I think it needs to come apart here. So I've got my trusty plectrum. I don't think I've ever taken one of these apart before. I have taken apart a lot of remotes in my time. I don't think there's any screws. Let's try this side. Seems to be working. I mean, this does have a slide, sort of an area to slide it into something. I don't know quite what that was designed for. It was some kind of optional extra or caddy or something that maybe Sony TVs had. Now that actually looks, because that's there, as if the whole lot slides forward. So I wonder if the idea is you take the top off first. And I know the C30 remotes, there was a way to do this. That they'd sort of almost unhinge from the top, the top part. And it's getting it right, so you don't break anything. Yeah, there we go. I don't know whether that has to then, maybe it's clipped both sides on this. Oh. Looks like there's clips top and bottom. Yes. So I sort of did that the right way. So there's clip top and bottom there, and then there's clips here. So I think the idea is that you push down here and then fold it out that way. So looking at it from the back, that's how you would do it. I've sort of done it the other way around, but it's fine. I've got no broken plastic, I don't think. No. So that's good. So this then, does this a slide? There's an implication that it does. Did they expect you to put a flat blade screwdriver in there? So there's a gap. We've got a spudger. Well, that's sort of done it. Okay, so first impressions. There is sort of what I would describe as wetness in there. There is under the cover as well, and this is from sweating batteries. The board itself, well, yeah, it's okay. I don't know how easily I can get these out without causing a mischief. So it looks like it's clipped here. I just wonder if I was supposed to actually desolder these. So I might just do that. Okay, so I'm wasting a lot there, aren't I? Trying to melt the plastic if I can help it. It is quite conductive, the solder braid. Well, this is a bit of a mess. So you can sort of see sort of contamination. Luckily it's not really gone on any of the buttons, but that will need cleaning up. The board as well, yeah, and it's not really gotten on any of the buttons. There's a record switch, and if you like the power on off, because that's what it does, literally disconnects the battery. So it's just a capacitor across it pretty much by the looks. So yeah, this is going to need a good clean up. You can see the contamination there. I would really like to get these out of here, but it might be that I just neutralize it with some vinegar, and I'll just do it that way. See how grubby this is. So yeah, that might be the way to go. I'm guessing that will just pop out there. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's what I will do. And the idea is this will hopefully neutralize the alkali of the leaked battery goodness. Super. So that's that. So Servicol foam cleanser seems to do a really good job on these. Lift out all the rubbish. Then we've got this. To be honest, I'm just going to brush. I've cleaned, I've just dried off underneath, so you can still see some marks there. But I don't want to use anything on here if I can help it. It's good enough, and I'm happy with that. I think I might have to subject it to the foam as well. Should do a really good job. So I shall continue playing with this. It's very carefully, it's quite painstaking. It's cleaning around each button, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Okay, so that's pretty clean. Battery compartment's looking a lot better as well. It's not 100% clean, and cord switch, which has just fallen out, goes in there. I believe that goes that way. So the dot there, if you try and put it in the other way, it doesn't fit. So that's why I say I believe it does, because, well, yeah, it does. The buttons, I managed to miss a bit there. And there. otherwise we're looking pretty good. A couple of marks. It says it's dried. Just get those off. But there's the muck has dried, because this was actually dry. But yeah, that's looking pretty good. Just sort of brush off any residual marks or anything else. So I'll put that back in. And the switch top I've cleaned as well. Boards come up pretty well. I was careful not to contaminate the pads as much as possible. A bit of a wear mark there as well, like it's been rubbing, but even clean the LED, so that's good. Good to go. So these tabs have to go on top of the board. Let's make sure that's right, which it is. And as you can see, I've cleaned the top of it as well, so it's looking pretty good. Let's get some solder on these. I think that's made a fairly good joint. Good. So I suppose before we put it all back together, let's try it. You can see the LED there. 1, 2, 3. It's these ones at the edge. It's a bit concerned about. You should be able to see it. Let's put the light off. Pause, record. Lovely. That's really good. So I have cleaned this, not that you'd know it. It looks a bit shabby now it's dried. It had quite a lot of dirt ingress. The machine, this is actually Paul's machine, and I've actually stumbled across another little issue with it, which I need to sort out before it goes back to him. And also the buttons, I've just not been able to get those to work particularly well, so they are going to be replaced. Not sure I'll show that on a video, to be fair, because it's fairly run-of-the-mill stuff, and I have done buttons on the channel before. So let's just clip that together, check it all still works, then clip that back on. And I haven't cleaned this yet, it's just so so wet in there. So yeah, I'll give that a clean, and we'll give it a polish, and then we'll see what it looks like, see how it works. So there it is. It's not perfect, but it's a heck of a lot better than what it was, and it should work if we just turn it on. Yeah, it's lovely. And ultimately they're the main ones. Trick modes, I suppose. Lovely. And battery compartment doesn't look too bad. And the thing is as well, is now that's all neutralized and all cleaned out, that won't get any worse. So yeah, that's great. So I suppose it's on to the next one. Okay, so I've just realised how much I've actually recorded. So I'm going to make this a two-parter. So I'll be looking at the RM80 and the RMT232 in a future video. Especially looking forward to looking at this one. This might have a similar sort of issue to the HF2100 remote, insofar as there's a little bit of contamination from a leaked battery. But I think that's gone inside it, and that's possibly what is actually causing certain buttons, especially up in this corner, not to work. So, hope you enjoyed this one. Sorry we didn't get to do all four, but we will do them. And see you in another video. Bye for now.